Well, we're getting there. I've done quite a bit of cleaning on the base, the firebox and the boiler, and I think it looks really nice. I basically went over the base with a very small wire brush, soft one, in a Dremel, and it's come up lovely. And you know, it's really shiny, and I got the firebox polished up okay. Obviously, you just clean the brass boiler the way you normally do. I used again a soft wire brush on it to start with to get the deep bad marks out. Then I use some Scotch Brite and some metal polish, and it comes out really well. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to paint it. I think it looks quite nice the way it is, and I have no intention of painting the engine frame. So I'm just going to leave it like that. What else? Oh yeah, the sight glass. Now, by some amazing fluke of luck, I actually had the right size diameter, that is, sight glass in stock, and I had the little rubber rings that go around it to clamp it in place. So hopefully that will work. Now, my luck with sight glasses, it's almost certainly going to leak, but that is the right sight glass, so that's great. What else? Well, the whistle cleaned up nicely, but it is missing. There should be a little wooden handle on here. This is metal, this part, which is the main part, the lever, if you like, and there should be a wooden handle on there, which I can hopefully just turn that up quickly on the lathe, and that will be the whistle sorted. Now the smokestack. Now that is the smokestack of the 661, and the 17 would have had an identical smokestack. Now with Weedens, these are generally, that's just a bit of rolled tin plate with a little olive like on the top to give it its cowl. But as you can see, it's very thin walled. You can see the seam quite clearly there. So it does need a smokestack. So I'm going to have think about that. Because the problem is you can't really get thin wall tubing like that. I don't have rollers, so I can't roll one up. But I might have some tubing that will do. On the photos I've seen of the Model 17, that's normally painted red. I don't know whether I'm going to do that or not, but I should be able to make up a smokestack. Well, the engine is now complete. I've made up the little conrod end. We'll zoom in on that so you can see it. Now, I did not bother showing you the making of that. That was literally about 10 minutes on the lathe. A little bit of rod, the right size, drill a hole in one end and then cross drill it for the crank pin and then Loctite it in place. The whole thing didn't take very long at all. Right, so that's on there. It was Loctite on about an hour and a half ago, so it's holding, but I'm not going to attempt to run the engine yet. Obviously, I'll probably leave it for a few hours for it to set properly, but it all seems to rotate nicely. I took the cylinder off and I've put oil in the cylinder and lubricated all the moving parts for the cylinder. As you can probably see, let me move this a little bit, so move it around a little bit. The Model 17 has a reversing lever. In fact, it has three positions. There's like a neutral, forward and reverse. So it makes it quite nice from that perspective. So you can reverse it. So what we'll do is we'll let the Loctite dry on the piston rod end. And then before I put it back together, I shall probably put that in the soft jaws of the vise and we'll connect an air line up to it and see whether we can get the thing running. I don't really think there'll be any problems. The Weeden engines are superb. They normally run perfectly without any problems whatsoever. So I'm hoping that that will be okay. Oh, and the other thing at all, I've got to obviously put the little rod in for the dummy governor. But yeah, we're definitely getting there. Right, time for a test run. Now I've got it in the vise. I've got the airline connected up to it, and no, I haven't tried it. This is the first time, so you're going to see, like I am, whether this is actually going to run. I don't know which direction is which. I've got it on one of the directions and I've oiled it all up, so we'll see. I'll put a little tiny bit of pressure on to start with, not going to use a lot, so let's give it a go. Try it the other way. 15 psi, and it's running. Yay! Right, the other way. It didn't want to go that way, did it? Oh well. To look into that, see what's going on, but it is trying. Right, back again. Attempt number 2. I fitted the little rod that the dummy governor sits in. I borrowed this governor off of one of my other Weedens, and I've done a little bit of fettling around here. It's very sensitive to the position of the reversing lever, so it still runs a lot better in one position than it does in the other, but it does seem to run now, so let's give it a go. That's about 12 psi. Slow it down a bit. About 10 psi. Now we'll try it in the other direction. Yeah, it's not. So very sensitive to where that is, that lever is. Once you get it in the right place, it runs fine. Anyway, I think it's about ready to go back onto the base and have the steam pipe soldered in place. Well, here it is, all back together. I think we'll call this a sympathetic restoration, because obviously I haven't done a full restore on this, but yeah, it's come out alright. Made the fake Weeden chimney smokestack out of some aluminium tube and a little bit foul bit of aluminium tube on the top to make the olive part, which makes the chimney cowl, smokestack cowl. Yeah, it's turned out alright. I actually quite like it like that. I don't regret not painting the firebox. I think I think it actually looks quite nice like this. Obviously I've got a borrowed dummy governor on there at the moment, but no, I think all that's left for us to do is to see whether it will run on steam. Right. Well, the moment it's finally here. Got water in the boiler. It doesn't hold very much, and as you can see the sight glass appears to be working. We're a little over halfway, and that's only 150 millilitres, so it's not an awful lot of water, so we have to keep an eye on that. But no, I'll get the burner lit and we'll give it a go. I've got the reverser set to the lower position, which seems to run better in that position than it does in the upper position. I've got the gas burner turned down quite low, so we'll just keep an eye on it and see what happens. I think we're about there. Yes, we're off. Oh, well impressed with that. Now that, of course, is the easier direction it ran in under air. So whether it's going to run the other way, I don't know. We'll let it run a bit like that for now. Isn't that lovely? Very quiet too. Well, I'll see if I can change direction without burning my fingers too much. Yeah, it's very sensitive to the where the reversing lever is. You hold it up, it runs fine. You let your finger off of it. It won't keep going. Oh well, it is running in both directions with a little help. Let's go back the other way, and we'll turn the gas down a bit as well. Yes, success! Well impressed with that. Yeah, maybe I've turned the gas down a little bit too low. Weeden17 under steam for the first time since its restoration. Yeah, it looks like we're getting a bit low on the water level too, so I think we'll can it. We'll run it a little bit longer. There you go. Like I said, there's very little water in there, so I don't want to run it too long. I'm going to turn the gas off, I think. Well, there you go. A potentially 100-year-old, possibly, Weeden17 under steam. So, let's turn the gas off. There we go. Wow. I'm totally amazed because, first of all, it runs, it actually runs quite well, certainly in that direction. But I'm also very impressed because we close in on it. It would appear that this is one of the few engines I've got that doesn't have a leaking sight glass. That's amazing. For one of my engines, that's incredible. But, no. Anyway, there we go. The Weeden17 sympathetic restoration, and runs absolutely fine, no problems with that at all, and yeah, very, very nice engine, and many thanks again to Richard for the new old stock Weeden crank. Thanks again, mate. Anyway, I think that'll be it. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video as always. Cheers.